Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to the Humble Scholar. Nabila Simab here, and today we are going to look at different methods of voting. It's a small and easy topic and which is going to be covered in less than 15 minutes. And what are the different methods of voting? Please do subscribe my channel, it won't take more than 5 seconds. And we have compulsory voting, we have secret voting, we have public voting, we have plural voting, and we have weighted voting. So yes, let's get going. The first one is public voting and the secret voting. What is the public voting? Public voting is that the voter just expresses his choice openly and orally. This method can be applied to the old Greek city-states, the Athenian city-states, the Athenian democracy, where the people used to, express their choice openly and orally, because this is not possible here in today's modern states, and it was practiced in the past centuries. Here the secret voting is that the voter casts his votes. The voter, usually we are all aware of the secret voting in these days in all countries there is secret voting, where a voter who has eligible to vote by the franchise laws, the voter goes to the polling station, and there he goes to the polling booth. He has a ballot paper there, and he ticks his choice of candidate, and then in the polling booth he drops his ballot paper into the ballot box, and the ballot box are only opened after everyone has casted their votes and it's time to count the votes. So this is how secret voting is done. It's so easy. Now the next thing is that what are the merits and what are the demerits, the advantages and the disadvantages of the public and the secret voting. Now public voting has been advocated by various philosophers on the grounds that like J.S. Mill has said that like any other public duty, voting should also be performed under the eye and the criticism of the public. So it says that because voting is a public duty, and so that's why it should be done openly under the eye. Everyone should see it, that whom a voter is, how the voter is casting his vote, and his choice should be open to criticism of the public, that people whether like his choice or not, his choice of candidate or not. So it should be open because it's the privilege that is inferred upon the person by the state to choose the representatives. So it's a public duty, so it should be done under the criticism of the public. What else is that? Trischke, that is the German philosopher, condemned secret voting. He says that it's immoral and it's the shabbiest trick, it's a mean trick. He says that it's immoral that a person that secretly casts his votes in a secret manner, he goes to the polling booth where there's no one and casts his votes, because this seems immoral. Because what is so secret that why can't he just openly choose his candidate? Why it should have to be secret when he is doing a legal method and carrying out a legal thing? And also public voting has been advocated in a sense that it is an educated value. When people see that educated people and intelligent persons are choosing a certain candidate, the uneducated persons get to know that okay, that candidate is more suitable, it means. So this is how the people get educated and guided by the intelligent and educated men. But public voting leads to abuses in a sense, and also the people are prone to pressure and intimidation, that is the fear. Okay, I'm not gonna write that. And pressure and fear. So of course when there is public voting, the certain political party or agents will pressurize people that if you don't vote for such a candidate, you will have to face grave consequences in a sense, because everyone would know for whom did you vote for. So obviously you are prone to abuses and you are prone to intimidation and pressure. And in England and USA, there was public voting before 1901, but they gave up public voting in 1901, and in USSR started secret voting in 1933. Next thing is that plural voting. Now, it's not so common actually, plural voting. And in order to remedy the defects of universal suffrage, what are the defects of universal suffrage? Because universal suffrage allows everyone to have the right to vote without any discrimination on the basis of education or property. So these are the defects of universal suffrage, that the ignorant person and also the intelligent person have the same vote and have the same rights. So plural voting is employed to remedy those defects of the universal suffrage. And G.S. Mill says that one man, one vote, that is what the universal suffrage says, was wrong, as it entitled the ignorance as much political power as knowledge. But G.S. Mill suggests that the one man, one vote rule is wrong, it's unfair, because the ignorant person or the uneducated person has the same access to the political power as an educated person or knowledgeable person. So that is not fair. So the plural voting, so that's why plural voting has been introduced by countries where there are certain qualifications, education, property, etc. are taken into consideration. Now I forgot to tell you what the plural voting is actually. It means that if an educated person is voting and if an uneducated person is voting, now this is uneducated person and this is educated person. Now if I am the educated person and I voted, my vote, one vote, I will vote 3 times. I will have 3 votes and the uneducated person will have only 1 vote. So this is how the plural voting works, that we give an edge and we discriminate and differentiate between educated and uneducated and while we also uphold the principle of universal suffrage. So this is how plural voting works. Now we have the weighted voting. In this voting, the vote of a person is weighted more as against the other person's single vote. It means on the basis of, here again there are certain qualifications, it's also a form of plural voting. Let me mention. So in this case, if an educated person has voted, he has also 1 vote, and uneducated person has also 1 vote. But when the votes are, his vote will weigh 3 times, 3x, I should actually say 3x than the uneducated person's vote. So in Belgian constitutions before 1921, this was weighted voting was carried out, but it was abolished later after 1921, because in this weighted voting, the lawyers, the public office holders, the educated people were given 2 votes. Their votes were 2 times than the uneducated persons, and here the farmers, the peasants, and the uneducated people, the working classes, were discriminated so much, and that's why Belgian constitution later abolished this weighted voting. Now, what are the merits and the demerits? Now the merits is that Treske said that votes should be counted, but weighted according to their worth or value, determined by certain qualifications. The votes should not just be counted, but they should be weighted. That because the vote of an educated person should be weighted more than a vote of an uneducated person, or a vote of a property holder should be weighted more than the vote of a person who has no property. Because this plural voted or weighted voted also recognizes the fact that some men are wiser than the other, that the opinions of the some people matter more than the others in general will. General will is actually the sum total of the will of the people. So it means that some people are more fit, they are more intelligent, they are more able to elect and choose their representative as compared to some other people. So that is how these are the merits of plural voting or the weighted voting. And the demerits are, it's undemocratic. And it's unjust, actually, it's unjust. They're a typo. So it's undemocratic and unjust in the sense that one person is given more votes and the other person is given less votes. So there is this, this is inequality. There is inequality. So, and also it's discriminatory. It's discriminatory in the sense that the uneducated people, the working class, the peasants, the farmers are discriminated. They are given the less, share to political power as compared to the educated persons at the of public office holders, etc. So this is discriminatory, and also educational class becomes arbitrary, because if you make an educated test, obviously if you are giving more votes to an educated person, there should be a criteria about their education. So if you carry out an education test, usually it's been said that by a philosopher that when you will carry an education test, most of the people will fail that test even though they are educated, because people are not so rational, they're not so intelligent. So it's hard to ascertain the value of the education of the people. And this last thing is that there's no criteria of superiority, that one person's vote is better than others. So there's no criteria of superiority that if I voted and that my vote and the candidate I chose is better for my government than the candidate whom my fellow chose. So there is no criteria as such criteria. Even we see that the educated people are usually not able to choose their good candidates, or the good are not able to elect the good representatives, and they do not form good governments. So you are not sure about who is going to elect the good person or not. So education usually cannot make so much difference, because sometimes educated persons are also prone to the emotions rather than rationality, and also the uneducated person are obviously prone to emotions. Now the last thing is that compulsory voting, because we see that usually the voters are indifferent, do not take so much interest in elections, in politics, in national problems. They are indulged in their own lives. They're concerned about their own local issues. So usually the people do not even go out to vote on the election day. Even we see in Pakistan so many people who don't even cast their votes. So there is a low voter turnout usually. So it vitiates the general will. The effect of the general will, that is, general will is the will of the people. The public opinion is heard or it's affected badly, because when there is a low voter turnout, it means you are just trying to ascertain what the general will is by only a small part of the population that has casted its votes, and you don't know the opinion of the other population that has not casted its votes. So it vitiates the general will. What the public opinion is, you don't know about it. Voters must, so the compulsory voting suggests that the voters must be obliged by law to vote. So there should be it should be lawful duty of a person to cast vote, and when he fails to cast vote, he should be punished legally. There should be punishment. So voting should be made compulsory. Everyone should be obliged by law to cast their votes. It was applied in Belgium, where there was a small fine. Was a person who does not cast his vote on election day has to give a small fine, pay a small fine, but the results were not so effective. The voters' turnout did not drastically change, so it was not so productive. But what happens is that it lessens the power it lessens the power of the party machines, because when what if happens that the party that formed the government secured majority and the opposition party lost. Why? Because the supporters of the opposition party did not even cast their votes. So this becomes government of a minority, and this is the power of the party machines, that is opposition party here lessens, because there is it's not in the hands of the party to compel the people to cast their votes if the people are not casting their votes. So but some of the philosophers suggest that voting should not be made compulsory, because it's just like honesty should come from heart but not compelling. The people should themselves realize it's their civic, by their civic sense, that is their civic duty, it's their duty as a citizen to cast their votes, because they make their votes make difference, and in direct elections they definitely make difference because you directly elect the representatives. So people have to generate that civic sense by themselves. Thank you so much, and do subscribe to my channel, and also do visit my other videos on propaganda, on Marxism, on social contract theory, on democracy, on methods of election, etc. Thank you.